Hi, everyone. So, today's topic is going to be on leadership and what makes a good leader. So, a lot of people had questions about how do I help you develop your leadership skills? So, I guess the first thing is what is leadership, right? So, when you look at somebody or you work with somebody, what makes them a good leader? And if you think back to your own personal experiences, I'm sure there are supervisors or people in your life that you've worked with or you studied with or learned from that you could tell they were a really good leader versus people that were not. So I always say there's two ways to learn from leaders. You learn what to do or you learn what not to do. And I've had those experiences myself. So I'm just going to go through a couple of qualities. So number one, honesty and integrity. Now, the reason that is important is because in order to motivate people and have people go all in with you or get that buy-in from your team, from the organization, or from anybody that you're dealing with, they need to trust what you say, trust in your vision. And so there's a couple of things in there. But the first part is them feeling that you're being honest and that you have integrity, that you're going to follow your values, that you're not going to sell out, that you're not going to turn around and do something else after you've told them you were going to do A, you turn around and do B. So everyone else is running around trying to fill your vision of A. That doesn't make a good leader, and people lose focus, they lose trust, and they're going to walk away. You're not going to have people stay with you or work with you if they don't trust in what you're doing or that you're going to say what you're doing. So integrity and honesty, make sure that they're honest and they stick to their values. Because if they don't, there's just going to be a lot of distrust and people aren't going to want to stick around. I think part of this is also a turnover. So I worked with a company recently and there was a lot of turnover. And when I did my interviews with the staff or trying to see what's been going on, the main issue is lack of trust and kind of the relational issues. Like they couldn't talk to each other or come up with a goal or plan together or problem solve together just because they had all this underlying resentment and lack of trust. And that's the first thing that you've got to build back up is that trust. And it's a process and it takes time. And obviously, the longer you have the resentment fester, the harder it is to repair those relationships. Okay, number two is confidence. So you need to be confident in yourself and in what you're doing to have other people follow you or jump on board. Now, this doesn't mean that we're always confident. It just means that you're presenting an image of confidence. So sometimes you have to act as if. It's a technique that is used in business as well as in mental health, where we need to act as if until we feel it, until we gain the skills to be there. So, if you're not sure about your decisions and what you're saying, people are going to notice that. And they're going to be less likely to trust in you. I mean, they still might follow through with what you say, but when it comes down to it, do they trust you? Do they trust your decisions? Are they going to have your back in meetings or when like there's everything on the line? They have to trust in what you're doing. Otherwise, there's a possibility they may jump ship and go with someone else because they don't feel like you can get where they need to go, either professionally, financially, in their vision, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Confidence is really important. That doesn't mean that you act as if you know everything and you're super arrogant and you don't take feedback. That is not what confidence. That's the opposite. That's insecurity. If somebody is acting super arrogant, won't take feedback, and says, I know it all, that's actually a sign of insecurity. So true confidence is just being confident in your own abilities, the abilities that you do have. And that doesn't mean you can't say you don't know sometimes. A lot of times I'll say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you if it's a topic or something that I'm not sure about or a policy. I mean, a lot of times I won't know if it's a topic that I'm not, that's not my focus, or that's not in my field, or whatever it is. If there's some type of question, I'm going to formulate what I think, or just formulate around, this is our main goal, but that specific question, I'll get back to you on that. Or I'll have a specific person get back to you on that. So you can definitely show that you're willing to learn, and, that you're taking in new information, that you're taking feedback from people. But the confidence is basically in your abilities, that you know what you're doing overall, that you can get people where, you can get to the goal, and you can get your team there. So some degree of confidence of just presenting yourself. And another thing on that is that part of it is also body language. So you want to, you want to have good posture. You want to have good eye contact. You just want to feel comfortable in your skin and in your space. And that can be learned, right? Because sometimes people are really shy, or there's a lot of things going on, and they may just not have learned that. So it is important to learn some of those skills. So just being confident in where you are, how you sit, how you speak, and also being confident to listen as well. But it's just, not hunched over or trying to hide in the corner or being really skittish. That doesn't show that you're confident. And it doesn't, those two things might not go together. Maybe you are confident, but you're not showing it. But it is important to show it, because if you want people to hire you, if you want to work with businesses, if you want to do any type of collaborations or marketing or getting your idea out there, you have to present the idea with confidence, and you have to have people backing you that believe in your idea. So those are important skills to learn. Inspiring others, right? So you can't really be a leader on your own. You need to have a team, and you need to inspire the people that you work with, people that work for you. I always say that the people that are working for me, I really work for them too, because they're expecting things from me. So there's a level of accountability there. And you want to inspire them to reach their goals, to reach their potential, to go above their potential. I like to give people opportunities. I'm really passionate about that. So when I'm supervising a team, I like to know what each of them are really good at, and also what they hope to accomplish. So you want to give people growth opportunities, whether it's training opportunities, experience, developing their own, their own brand or their own specialty areas. I just think that's really important, because that creates a connection where they see that you are with them to reach the goals that they want to reach, what they're passionate about. And that's inspiring. Versus on the other side, where the bad leaders could want to stifle that because they feel threatened, or they don't want you to leave. So they refuse to let you train, refuse to let you grow, won't give you any opportunities or promotions or just anything. They'll just basically say, no, you can't do anything. You don't know anything. Stay here and be happy, right? And I've had those type of experiences too. And I don't know how a lot of people act, but in those situations, I know how I act. I find a better opportunity and I leave. Because if someone says, you can't do this, bring it on, right? Because I'm going to go and find a business or a company or people that that want me for this specific role that the company I'm with says that I can't do. Because what does that show? That shows that they're a liar, right? And it just shows that they don't want you to grow. And it's not to throw it back in their face, but it's just personally, right? You want to make sure that you're professionally where you're on the path you want to be on. And you don't want people to get in the way of that. So if somebody says you're not doing this and they're going to keep you down, then it's in your best interest to seek out a way to get to that pathway. And sometimes that means leaving the organization, which is why it's so important to provide people with those opportunities. Otherwise, you're definitely going to have turnover. So, all right. So inspiring, commitment, and passion. So obviously, you want to show what your values are and what's important to you, because when people see that you're really passionate about something, it's super important to you, they're going to connect with you. If you're just like, checking something off or saying, okay, we did A, B, and C, great, let's call it a day, that's not really very inspiring. So you want to show what you're passionate about, and hopefully that aligns with the job you're at or the position you hold, because if it doesn't, you might want to reevaluate to see, are you on the path that you want to be to connect with your values and passion in your career. Okay, communication, one of my favorite topics. So miscommunication is actually a big issue in unhealthy work culture. So it's either people not being assertive and speaking up and then resenting things, or the communication people don't feel respected. And sometimes there really is a lack of respect. It's just a very toxic environment. But other times it's a miscommunication, or people are maybe like sensitive, or they've had certain experiences, so they think that somebody is being disrespectful to them, but they might not actually be. So that's why it's important to really have someone come in. And that's what I do with my business as well, as I go in and I help people communicate, do some conflict resolution, communication skills. And the most common thing I notice is that they're not speaking up assertively. They're either being passive aggressive, like making little comments, or just saying things in a very negative way, and people could feel that, and then they start to feel unhappy and withdraw, or they get aggressive depending on the personality. So it doesn't work. So you want to be able to be very clear in your expectations as a leader, and also understanding what your team needs. So one person on the team might need very clear directions, outlines, deadlines. Other people might be good at that. They might need more of the theoretical, conceptual stuff that they need to grow. So everybody needs something different. You want to be able to adjust and know what everybody on your team needs and how to interact with them. But the